In this video, we will look at the setting up of the duty forecast Excel spreadsheet. In order to effectively use this tool, we have to first set up various factors for utilization there. So, we'll start from the extreme right. We have the duty states. In this table here, we have all the factors that affect duty under consideration. From the very top, we have the day off and we have the rest period. These are two important elements that feature in the whole notion of forecasting duty. Now, if you note carefully in terms of active, the column active, the active status, it is at 0, which means the member is not working, is not detailed to work. It's not on leave, it's not on anything, it's just on his own time. Okay? So, going down, we have all other duty states, active duty states, which have an active status of 1. Then we have church service, we have court duty, we have logistics, property management, station guard, supervision, transport, and these are all within the vein of the property management and logistics portfolio at the National Police College of Jamaica. Now, this excludes certain specialties because we are really catering to the police personnel that are assigned there. We are not dealing with the civilians who are specialists in particular areas that have particular roles and functions. So it is confined specifically to the police personnel there. Now, below we have the other factors, and all these are still below 0. So if we look at leave, for example, all things affecting leave, all being equal, they are -1. All things pertaining to total inactive status, that is to say interdiction and suspension, they are -2. And all things that relate to the person being totally removed from the division on a somewhat permanent basis, be it by virtue of transfer, dismissal, resignation, or whatever, then those are -3. Now, moving to the next table, we have the shifts. What is important here is the definition of the shift. So we have the hour band. So for example, 8 to 8, it's 12 hours. So we calculate the hours, we put that there. And additionally, we take into account how many days does the duty span. So from 8 a.m. in the morning to 8 p.m. in the evening, that is 12 hours, and it's in the same day. The duty started in the same day and ended in the same day. The same does not hold true for 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. It starts at 6 p.m. on the particular date and ends at 6 a.m. on the succeeding day, still spanning a 12-hour duration. However, the day span is 2. So, the hour calculation is important. Whatever the shifts, we need to indicate the hours, the working hours that impact that shift, and also we need to indicate how many days does that duty span. Okay, so we move now over to our mandatory duties. Now, what this table takes into account, it is the type of duty and the minimum number of personnel that is supposed to be on each shift. So here we select the shift that is concerned, and for the duties that are mandatory, we select them up here. So we have supervision, we have transport, we have station guard. we could add something else from the listing here, from the active listing, that is. Okay, so there are 3 other columns that are there to be filled out. However, this column, which is the driver, post driver, you should enter for that entire shift what is the minimum amount of drivers that should be available, and this should not take into account the persons who really are on supervision duties. While it is ideal that they be force drivers, it's not necessarily so. We want the persons detailed below who they are supervising to be actual drivers, so that should be taken into account. And then we move to the master list. The master list is the area from which certain information is fed: personnel, their driver status, and all. For this list, all these fields are required. It is required that you fill out all these fields, right? In addition to the force driver field, which is basically a drop down indicating whether true or false. These other fields, these are derived, they are based on calculations, right? So based on the date of enlistment, it is the difference between the date, the current date, and that date. So whatever measurement there is, so this person has 10 years of service based on that calculation. Same holds true for the date of birth. The current date minus the date of birth, and the person's age is 27. Okay, so this is what feeds into your scheduler. So when you click your drop down listing here, you will see the names that are included within your master list. Also important to note is, we do note that there is the need to always arrange the lists in a rank order, the order of seniority. You do it from this angle, and then it will be always ordered in that regard within your drop down list. So for the most part, once you have arranged your settings on the setting sheet, and you have completed your master list, then are you really ready to start scheduling? So that's it for now. Thank you for watching.